So, in the previous lesson, we finished off the invoice which we'd started. So, we put in these brief details, but what we hadn't done is added the quantity in the description, and we hadn't done the boxes. So, if you remember, it's just a case of highlighting the sales, choosing what kind of box we want around it, or borders as it calls it here. So I'd written Mr. Knight, the IT guy, in cell B1, but obviously that doesn't fit properly, so I'm going to go to B and I'm going to highlight through to, I don't know, let's say D3 here, and just merge and center so that Mr. Knight, the IT guy, is bigger and in one box. And in E I added a picture from this device. It depends, you can do it from your device, you can do it from wherever you've got an image, maybe the internet. Okay, I'm going to make this a bit smaller so it actually fits. Maybe a touch smaller than that. There we go. So I've got my invoice all looking nice and neat. I want today's date, so I'm going to do equals today, and then because we've written a word, we've got to open and close brackets. And press enter. And now every time we open up this receipt or this invoice, it will give us the date. So we can type it all out, print it. We don't have to think about adding the date. The calculations for the chairs and the table and everything. So first of all, we've got to give them a price. So I'm just going to make something up here. As you can see, I've already got it labelled as currency. Okay, and change all that to currency, and the same for this one. Except, yep. So I'm going to change that to currency as well. So anything in these that is numbers will appear as currency. So dining chairs, let's have a look. Let's say £75 each. Easy chairs 90. The tables 250. Okay. So it's simple formula. What do we start a formula with? Equals. So equals quantity multiplied by the unit price. And that gives us 300. Excel does this strange thing. Do you remember if we get the black cross and we drag it down, it will do those formulas for us relative to each line we're on. If we do that from here, can you see the top line under total? So if I do that from here, it puts those lines in for no particular sensible reason. So what we can do is, if we just do the formula again, equals quantity multiplied by unit price, and then if we had a lot more and we did the black cross, it doesn't put in that top border. So it thinks it's being helpful, but not for us. So I want to put in here subtotal, and then we can just do an auto sum. Then I want the VAT, so equals 17.5%. You must put the percent sign in, multiplied by the subtotal, gives us that amount, and then the grand total is simply those two numbers added together. And there you go. What we also wanted to do was stop the Office Junior, the admin person or whoever, from damaging our formulas, okay? Or maybe even the chairs. So if we were to choose a normal cell and go to the protection, can you see it's got a check on the locked, okay? To stop it from, so that we can change these ones, if I highlight all of them and go to the format cells, we uncheck that box. Okay, so we uncheck that box and these ones as well, because we're going to be entering numbers in. But the description and the unit price and the total, we don't want you to be able to enter to change those. So for format the cells, and make sure that the locked box is checked, and the same for these. Yep, so that's already checked because that's the standard way. So now the only thing we can change is the quantity and the name and the invoice number. Okay, so we go to Review and click Protect Sheet. Just accept the defaults on that. Now we can change the number of chairs, and that works. But what we can't do is change the description, and we can't change the formulas. So that makes it easier for us to stop the spreadsheet from being damaged by somebody who doesn't quite understand what they're doing. Also, if you remember from the previous lesson, we did some data validation. So let's say you can't do more than 6 chairs. You can't buy more than 6 chairs. It's a special offer. So we click on the cell that is relevant to us, and we go up to Data, and then Data Validation, and we choose a whole number between 1 and 6, because obviously, actually you possibly put 0. Let's choose 0, between 0 and 6. And now we can't put in 7. Okay. What we can also do is, as you saw there, change the message. So once we've got that working, we can go to the error alert, say stop, too many chairs, 6 is the maximum number. Okay, and we can see whether the 0 works. Yeah, there you go. And then 6 works, but nothing more than 6. So that was the first spreadsheet we did. The second one, the second thing we were looking at was a mail merge. For this one, what we're doing is we've got these counsellors, but for our purposes they were entering into an art competition. I'm going to open up a brand new Word document, but before I do that, can you see we've got across here title, name, surname, address, 1, 2, city, county, postcode, price. This is going to be important for us when we open up, when we go to the mailings, because these headers will allow us to be able to understand what's underneath it in the data. Okay, so this is a mail merge. I'm clicking on Word. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is go to mailings, and I'm going to select the recipients from an existing list, and I know that my list is on the desktop and it's called counsellors, and yes, my first row of data does contain headers. That's good. Click OK. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the address for the person. So I'm going to do title, put a space in, and then surname, press enter, then address 1, address 2, city, county, and postcode. And then I'm going to start Dear, and I'm going to use the person's name, so I'm going to insert name, comma, thank you for entering our competition, and then for the ones who have won, I'm going to insert the field prize. So if we look at the spreadsheet, you can see only 2 people have won a prize. So if there's nothing there, that's just going to be blank when we do the mail merge. Okay. So normally, of course, we would have these over on this side. So I'm just going to go to right aligned. So now we've got title, surname, all the address, dear name, prize. Once I've done that, I'm going to click finish and merge, and I want to do edit individual documents because I want to be able to see them. So merge all the records, and here we go. We've got a brand new Word document up with Mr. Smith, Miss Jackson. Oh, we can see Miss Jackson's actually won the first prize. We scroll down. Mrs. Anderson hasn't won anything. But if we look at Mrs. Anderson's address on the counsellors, can you see she doesn't have an address too? So instead of leaving a space, it's just raised up the ones underneath it, so it looks a lot neater. Okay, and there you go. Roderick Spode has won second place. So we've got all the letters, just check that they're okay, and then we can print and mail them. So that concludes what we did in the lesson on Thursday. On the next lesson, we're going to be looking at big data. We're going to be sorting data, and we're going to be doing some other things as well, but we're going to start off with looking at how we can get the data in an organisation that we can understand. I'll see you on Thursday.